Episode 5, Miyagi Do. It's kind of some more interesting background on Mr. Miyagi, that there were some other sort of defensive techniques that he didn't teach Daniel in the years that he was training him. Kind of more the sort of aggressive sort of kill or be killed kind of attitude that you kind of had to have, I think, in the age of war, I think that was going on in like ancient Japan. That's sort of kind of the theme of this whole show, that maybe the philosophies of Cobra Kai, there is some kind of logic to it, even, it's kind of, a sort of dickish approach to life in general, but, there is also some kind of logic behind it. Felt very sort of Game of Thrones in terms of the stories in this episode, that it was all just sort of the characters sort of self-contained within their own storylines, not crossing over into any other things that were going on. You had Johnny and Miguel trying to stand up, and you had Daniel over in Japan. You had Amanda and Samantha arguing over restarting karate, and then you had the Cobra Kai kids, winding up Chris at golf and stuff. I find it kind of weird, to be honest, that Hawk and Samantha don't seem that bothered about the fact that Miguel is now out of hospital and Johnny's trying to get him to start walking again. I would have thought they would have cared a bit more about that, but I guess they've got their own storylines going on, I guess we don't necessarily have to assume that all these storylines are going on at the same time. We're just seeing them at the same time, so I don't know, who knows. Chosen, I thought, was really good in this. I'm not quite sure how Daniel recognised him as being the same person. You see those clips from Karate Kid 2, and then you see him now. They don't really look particularly similar, but there you go. I guess maybe he didn't recognise him. He just figured that must be who it is. We learned a bit more backstory about him and Sato, what they got up to, and how his teachings relate to Daniel's teachings. I do remember thinking during the whole events of the episode, you came here to Japan to try and help your auto dealer, basically, Daniel. I'm not quite sure how this is supposed to help that, and what do you know, a bit of a sort of Deus Ex Machina thing at the very end, just as he's about to fly home. Shows up, she's in charge of the Japanese car company that he's trying to make a deal with. Completely unforeseen by Daniel, with just a bit of luck. Anthony comes back, noticeably older now. I guess that is what happens with puberty and growing up and everything. Still just as annoying, though. I honestly don't know why they put him in that scene, really. It was very irritating just having him there, kind of ruining the moment in a way, because it was sort of heated debate that Amanda and Sam were having. Hawk, Mitch, and some other Cobra Kai kids showing up at golf and stuff, just generally bullying now. It really does look like Cobra Kai is turning into the villains again, which is kind of weird, because that kind of goes against what the original idea of the show was. Really making the Miyagi Do kids' life a misery. Dimitri gets his arm broken by his former best friend. Tori just sort of shows up out of nowhere and contributes a little bit to the whole fight. I guess, she was inserted in there as just kind of a reason for why Sam would not want to come out and fight. She's scared of Tori after what she did to her. I guess it's somewhat understandable. Tori was a lot worse to her than anybody else involved in Cobra Kai. I find it a bit weird, though, that Sam is the one sobbing after Dimitri got his arm broken. What about Dimitri? He's the guy whose arm is actually broken. I don't know, maybe he was just, being treated to, and, maybe Amanda and Sam were going to go and see to him once the treatment was over or something. But yeah, Daniel's coming home with some more teachings about Miyagi Do, and hopefully he's going to save his auto company, which, I've got to be honest, I'm not massively interested in what happens with his car dealership. But I imagine he's going to save it, and Miyagi Do is going to start up again with these new teachings, and the Miyagi Do kids are going to fight back against Cobra Kai. Possibly we'll see the All Valley tournament at the end of the season like we did season 1, although that might be a bit repetitive, so who knows. Oh, and Miguel has started toe tapping now. It's just gradually getting the use of his legs back. Presumably, it's going to be a little bit more movement next episode, and then he'll probably be back to walk in about episode 7, I would say. Carmen looks to be very much back on Johnny's side because of that now. And I'm not quite sure why at that concert they went to, the beers they were drinking had American flags on them. I don't know, was that like a beer, with the beers that they were drinking there, they hadn't given them any money to make the show, so they didn't want any kind of unearned product placement or something. At the very end of the episode, of course, we see Ali on Facebook. We're seeing her face now, so that she is obviously going to come back. I don't know, seeing Elizabeth Shue as an older woman now, I just think of her as Marilyn from The Boys, really. I just look at that face and I think that's Marilyn. But yeah, I look forward to seeing Ali again at some point later on this season, I imagine. And it was fun to see Chosen again. Yeah, they're definitely bringing back the full cast from the Karate Kid films. You know, it's just Terry Silver and Mike Barnes really left to bring back now. Don't think that'll be that this season, but possibly next season. We shall see. Anyway, that's episode 5, and I will see you again soon, guys.